So welcome to the Healthy Living Pavilion. My name is Allison Tibbs, and today we are going to talk about clean eating. I'm going to share with you guys some of my favorite clean eating recipes and some clean eating hacks, as I like to call them, to make clean eating easy, simple, but still enjoyable. Is that cool? Can we get down with that? I'll share a lot of stuff at the beginning, and then I'll open up for you guys to ask questions, because I know a lot of people, you'll read something, you'll hear something, you're like, oh, I want to ask that question. Well, I'm typically $115 an hour, but you get to pick my brain for free. So this is your time as well to get all your questions answered around fitness, nutrition, or whatever. All right? Cool. All right, so as I said, my name is Allison Tibbs. I'm a San Francisco-based personal trainer and healthy lifestyle coach. I'm also an author and a speaker. One thing that I did create was called the Clean Eating Guide. I created the Clean Eating Guide because it was a book that I thought would be really, really important for my clients to understand how to properly eat clean. I'm not talking about diets. I'm not talking about doing those weird things, because truth be told, when I started on my journey, I literally did every single fad diet you could actually dream of. I mean, it's embarrassing if I told you the things that I did. You'd probably judge me, because I still judge myself a little bit. So I won't bore you with that, but I will let you know that all of those fad diets left me frustrated, upset, and totally confused about what I needed to eat. So one day I said, you know what? Screw this. I'm just going to stick back to the basics and just eat real food. I'll start there, and I'll figure it out moving forward. And that's what I did. And what I found is that things started to change with my body. Really good things started happening. And it was also around the time when I was really, really working hard on my body. I was doing insanity. I was like in the gym. I was running, doing all this cardio, everything that Glamour magazine and Cosmopolitan magazine told me to do to get the hot body to make all the boys jealous, or make all the boys want me and all the girls jealous. And my body didn't look the way that I trained, which was really annoying. And I realized it was my nutrition. So I started working on this clean eating, and there's many different definitions of clean eating. Mine is real simple. Just eat real food. Less ingredients on the label, just food that you can recognize. If your grandma knows what it is, and it's pretty much good to eat. That was kind of my guide there. But as I went through it, I realized that in the state that we're in now, why clean eating is so important, the quality of food that we have now is very, very bad. The standard American diet, which actually breaks down to SAD, SAD, which is also kind of interesting, is horrible. Tons of packaged foods, tons of artificial flavorings, ingredients, sweeteners, colors, dyes, things that are actually making us gain weight and making us very unhealthy. And it's really a billion-dollar industry that's been created around us starting diets, eating bad food, failing at it, feeling horrible, and then at 2 a.m. we see an infomercial of some new diet where, like I said yesterday, if you just eat cottage cheese and Brussels sprouts for 4 days, you're gonna lose weight and feel great. After a day of eating Brussels sprouts and cottage cheese, you are angry, you're bloated, you're gassy, no one wants to be around you. So you have to kind of figure out, like, what's more important, to be angry, bloated, and gassy, or just like eat real food and be happy with yourself? And that's a personal preference. If the cottage cheese Brussels sprout diet's your jam, go for it. Just make sure you're like 60 feet away from me at all times. So this is why I'm here today, to share with you guys some things that I found really helpful for me. So the first thing I want to talk to you guys about is how to make it just easier. Okay, that's the first thing. So a lot of people say to me, my clients, like, oh, I can't eat clean, it's too hard, it's too expensive. Okay, so it's 2017, guys. It doesn't have to be expensive, it doesn't have to be complicated, it can be pretty easy. So I'm gonna share with you guys a couple of my favorites first. If you have a Trader Joe's by you, like literally Trader Joe's, I'm like, answered prayers, thank you so much. So a few things that I love with Trader Joe's. First and foremost, already boiled and peeled hard-boiled eggs, okay? I am a pretty good cook, but I cannot boil eggs to save my life. I don't know what I do wrong every time, but it's just horrible. And then the whole point of like peeling them, you just have like eggshells under your nails, your hands smell like eggs, and it's just gross. Like, it's not really good for your dating life when you smell like eggs and have eggshells underneath your fingernails. So these are great. And again, the only ingredient is eggs. Okay, so that's a perfect definition of clean eating. There's nothing else, there's no preservatives on them, saves you time. A lot of my clients just buy a bag of these and this lasts them 2 days for their snacks. So if you're struggling with snacks, just grab these and there you go. Another thing, pre-bagged salad, okay? I love kale, like to the point where I have a kale sweatshirt. I love it that much. And I eat it all the time. This bag is like $2, and it is, I can make 4 salads and 4 smoothies off of this. So if anyone says, oh, eating clean is expensive and whatever, you guys, $2, 4 meals, 4 snacks. Like that, sorry, that's not an excuse I'll buy. So that's another one here with that. Something else, I know, beets. People are like, that's disgusting. Don't even talk to me about beets. But I know, but they're really good, I promise. Like, here's a little, this is a bonus one. You can take this one to the bank. If you do not like beets, but you know, like, oh, I really want to put them in my diet, buy these. They're steamed and peeled. So it's like a very easy process. Dice them up, toss them with some olive oil, put some salt, pepper, and like just some herbs. One of my favorite is the Trader Joe's 21 seasoning salute. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Just toss it together and roast it for 20 minutes. I don't know what happens when you roast things in the oven. I don't know what magic happens in there, but it can make Brussels sprouts, beets, cauliflower, the things that like your mom made you eat when you were little and you're like, no, this is disgusting. You feel like you're like Bobby Flay. I don't know, like I'm like, what? Beets? Yes. So try that, okay? Try it, find me on Instagram, take a picture, and I want to see the beets. I promise you'll like them. Then you get to that great point where you're like, oh, beets aren't that bad. These are really great because you can just throw them into a juicer, you can throw them into a smoothie, or you can chop them up as I've done, which I'll show you guys with my salad tower in a little bit, okay? So if beets aren't your thing or they're just like really messy, then try the steamed peeled beets. Another thing, you guys, liquid egg whites, all right? These are so easy, and again, it's 2017, back like when these first came out, they had like, I don't know what was in them. It was all types of chemicals. That was not approved. But this, literally, the ingredient is 100% cage-free egg whites. Okay, I think this is like $3 or something. But same thing, save the time. If you are strapped for time, I'm gonna actually show you guys how I use these in one of my favorite recipes. But super, super simple. Just make sure you shake it first, because if you don't, it just kind of sorts out whatever's going on inside of there. Just make sure that you're not like, what is that? So there you go. And the last thing, my absolute favorite, pre-chopped onions. Like, who wants to sit and chop onions all day? I don't. I don't have time for that. I barely have time to do my makeup and or my hair. So if you think I have time to chop onions, you are sadly mistaken. These are so great. Also, you can freeze these. So you use them when you're ready, and then when you're done, just pop them in the freezer, and you can cook with them however you want. So these are some of my favorite things to use when it comes to clean eating. So now that I've shared that with you guys, let's go ahead and talk about some of my favorite recipes. So the first recipe I'm going to share with you guys is breakfast, okay? So they are veggie egg muffins. That's what I'm going to make today, but you can do really anything with them. So when it comes to breakfast, I know a lot of people, you're on the go, you don't have time to eat, and sometimes you just don't want a protein shake or a meal shake, or you just want something that's like a breakfast food, right? So this is my favorite recipe, and it's also really great because it's family friendly, kid friendly. Like if you don't like getting in your vegetables, it's a great way to sneak vegetables in, and it's just really simple. So a few things that you want to do. Another thing that I love is spray coconut oil. Super, super simple, because when you use coconut oil, you have to melt it first or buy it already in that position. This just makes it super simple. So what you're going to do to start, you're going to set your oven for 350 degrees. So before you get started, 350. You're going to take your muffin tin, okay, any type of muffin tin, take your coconut oil, and you're just going to, whoa, having some issues here. You're just going to spray with the coconut oil, okay? So it's nice that way, because no one wants eggs that are stuck in a pan. That's just obnoxious and annoying, and then you're hungry and you become hangry. It's a whole process. So you have your spray tin, you have your muffin tin. Now this is where it gets really fun. You can choose whatever ingredients you want for the egg muffins. So this is why I like it, because if you have a big family or you have picky eaters, you can create each, like you can have one person have their own tin, and they can put whatever they want in it. So that's another thing that's really fun. Like my clients with young kids, that's what they do. They just say, hey, just put whatever you want in it. The trick is put the fillings and the ingredients in first and then add the egg whites second. If you go the other way, it's gonna overflow and you're gonna miss out. So I just made it really simple. I used some onions, I have some chopped peppers, I have some chopped mushrooms, I have some spinach, and then I have some goat cheese. So those are the three that I really like. But if you want to add more protein to it, you can add bacon. I've done chicken. I've used leftover ground turkey and added some salsa and cheese to it. Made like a really nice, like, I don't know, Southwest type feel. So you can really do anything you want in it. So literally all you're going to do is you want about a tablespoon or two of ingredients. So literally I'm just going through and just putting in the onions. So that's there. Then if you want mushrooms or you don't want mushrooms. And like I said, if you have a lot of people that you're cooking for, or you have something coming up, like if we have anyone who likes to go camping, you can also make these in advance. And then you can just heat them up on like on the fire or anything like that, or eat them room temperature. Some people I know, they will heat them up and then put a slice of cheese on top of it and then put it on an English muffin. So you have like a breakfast sandwich you can take with you on the go. But again, they're all customizable. So if you don't like something, then don't put it. Or if you have leftover veggies or leftover, fillings in your house, then you can just go ahead and, do that. So you just put, as you see, I'm not putting a lot in there. I'm putting just enough, got spinach everywhere, just enough to fill the container, okay? So that's kind of what it looks like to start. And then all you do is you take your egg whites. And again, these are really, really great. They come in a carton. What you want to do is you just want to pour until it's about 3/4 of the way in. So I'm just pouring it in. Like, you guys, this has taken me what? We're at 2 minutes now to make breakfast. So you could do this really quickly and then pop them in the oven while you're getting ready for breakfast. Go take a shower, whatever you need to do, and come back to it. I also like to add some seasonings to it so they're not just so bland. I like doing a salt-free seasoning like the 21 Seasoning Salute, only because you can always add salt and pepper at the end when it's done, so you can manage it that way. So here it is. Not rocket science, super simple. Pop it in the oven, and we're gonna do some like TV magic here. So we're gonna pop them in the oven, and then take them out, and you have your egg muffins, okay? So you see they're like bite-sized, they're super cute. Like I said, you can put them on an English muffin, you can put them in a Ziploc bag and take it with you, you can serve it with toast or avocado toast, whatever you really want, but it's a really easy way. Kid-friendly, kids can make this, anyone can do it. I've even done some where you take the muffin tin and put turkey bacon on the, around each side, then put the veggies, then add the egg. That's also kind of a cool one too if you want more protein with it. But that's the first one. That was easy, right? Who's gonna try these egg muffins? All right. Invite me over when you do so I can eat some. Thanks. I appreciate it. Okay, so there we go. First recipe done. Easy peasy. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna move on and talk about lunch. A lot of people I know, lunch sometimes can be really hard. If you're in the Bay Area, you work at a tech company, you're getting like mac and cheese and pizza and fried chicken for lunch, which is like, that's a whole nother, yeah, you're like, yeah, yep, you do, that's why I went to that company, because they give me food all the time, which is great, however, not always great for the waistline, not always great. Actually, one of my clients used to be one of the food catering companies for tech startups, and he showed me the menu, and I was like, you're killing America with this, like, I can't even deal with you right now. 20 burpees now. So he was doing it for the good of the people. But I know that lunches can be really tough for people. So I want to share with you guys, because I'm always on the go. I'm always running around like a crazy person. And so I have to make my meals easy to make, easy to travel, and also that are going to fill me up. And I remember when I first started eating clean, I was like, I don't eat salads because salads are sad. I eat a salad and then I'm hungry. And then I go get a burger because I'm still hungry. So I had to figure out a way to make salads that were easy to make, easy to take, and just really delicious. So I'm gonna share with you guys what I do, and I call them, I'm still playing around with it, and if you have a better name idea, just let me know. I've called them salad towers, salad stacks. Tupperware salads don't sound really attractive, so we just took that off the list. So if you have an idea of what to name them, let me know. But the most important thing with these salads is you want to get the tall Tupperware containers, and you want them to be wide enough so that way if you want to eat it in the container, you can. I've tried it with the mason jars. It's just really, you know, it's like, it's frustrating, right? Like you can't get in there and you're hungry and then you just start doing, like, it gets real messy and it's embarrassing and people judge you, especially if you're doing it as you're driving or if you're like at your desk at work, and like, we don't need that negativity in our lives because we're trying to improve ourselves. So this was my best option here, was this Tupperware. So a few things with the Tupperware container salads. See, it doesn't even sound good. It just sounds, ugh. So open for suggestions. So with the salads, the most important thing is figure out your ingredients, and then there's like a little bit of science to this, guys. So the way to make it, first and foremost, is you want to have an idea of what's going on in your salad. If you're like me, like I can't go to salad bars because it's too many options. I throw everything in it. So you have to actually have some strategy to it. So the biggest strategy first is always put your dressing in first, okay? My client did it backwards once, put the salad dressing in last, sent me a text of the salad. It looked like a massacre happened in his bowl. I was like, throw it out. It's disgusting. So the first thing you want to do is your salad dressing. I actually like making my own salad dressing because I think it's just, you can trust it. They put a lot of scary stuff in salad dressings. If you've ever turned to look at the label, there's some stuff I'm like, what is, I don't even know what that is. I have no clue what that is. So I make my own, and it's super simple. I wish I could say I'm like really into like measuring like Ina Garten does on the Food Network. I'm not like that. I'm just kind of like, meh. So what I typically do is I buy one of these little containers. You can do it in a mason jar, an old spaghetti jar. Just rinse it out first, please. So I just kind of like count it out. Like, okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's fine. All right. Same thing when I add some vinegar, whatever vinegar you want, whatever olive oil, whatever oil you really want, except vegetable oil, don't do that. And same thing here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the base. Now what you can do, you can add mustard, you can add a little bit of honey, you can add a little bit of garlic, onions, shallots, just you want more flavor, some ginger if you want. I typically then just add a bunch of like fresh herbs to mine. So I have some thyme that I'll just, again, I just kind of dump it in there. I don't really measure it. I'll add some oregano. Trader Joe's makes this really good onion salt that I'll put in there as well. So just add some of that. And again, whatever you really want, play around with it too. Like you don't have to, if it tastes gross, just add more of something else. Like that's how I pretty much cook and figure it out. I mean, it's olive oil, vinegar, and spices. Like, you can't really go too wrong with that. So then you just close it up. You're gonna shake it up. Cool. So this is your salad dressing. So again, super easy and a lot cheaper than what you'd buy in the stores and a lot healthier for you. So first thing you do is you start with your salad dressing, okay? That's the first thing. So your next thing you want to do, you probably want to add your protein next. So depending on if you're plant-based or if you're, you eat a certain type of protein, it doesn't really matter. I have two options that I sometimes do. I have grilled chicken here, just diced up. Or if you are plant-based, you can also do like, this is a black bean quinoa burger. I just chop it up and use that as well. So you can always do that too. You can do chickpeas if you want more substance. You can do tuna, you can use fish, whatever you really want. I'm just gonna do grilled chicken because that's kind of what I like. So you put your protein in first, okay? The next thing you're gonna do is, if you are gonna put beets second next, because if you put beets close to anything that has absorbed the color, we're back to that massacre looking salad and it's disgusting. So I'm gonna go and put the beets next. So you wanna put your protein and any of like your dense or your like wet ingredients in first, okay? If you do it the other way, you're gonna get your greens really soggy. So I'm just adding some beets, and we have some edamame. So let's put some edamame in there. We'll save the rest for this. We have we'll put some tomatoes. Tomatoes. We have some snap peas. I'll add that there. I have some hard-boiled eggs. Cool. So this is the topping for my salad, right? Already, this is a lot of food. Like, you'll be pretty full with this. We have veggies, we have protein, we have all types of good stuff. Then you add your greens on top, okay? I personally like kale the best, especially for these because it's sturdy enough that it'll actually hold its integrity. So you want to put, your kale in there. If you do something like a spinach or like a mixed green or something like that, then what I would suggest is just do your ingredients and close it. And then when you're ready to eat your salad, add your salad greens and then add the topping on so that way it doesn't get soggy. Either way works. And if you do it that way, then just make a bunch of just individual bags of spinach or kale or whatever so you can make your toppings, grab your bag and just go out for the day and you're good to go. When you're doing this, if you're adding your kale, really like smush it. That's the word, right? Yeah, smush. It's a very scientific cooking word. We're gonna smush your kale all the way in there. So this is about 2.5 servings of kale, which is also pretty awesome. And then, there we go, Cisco in the house, Chef Cisco. So then you're gonna go ahead and put all of that stuff into your container, and this is your lunch, or your dinner, or whatever it is to go, right? Super easy, fits in your cup container or in your car. So easy to travel with. I make like 3 of these at a time, and they'll keep pretty well. I've eaten some that are like at the 5-day mark and it was still okay, but I don't recommend that. It was rough times for me. So it was either that or like eating like whatever random stuff was left in my fridge, and I was like, I'll risk it. And I was fine, still here today. So what do you do when you eat it? So that's why I say using this, because if you're on the go, you can just shake it up and eat it, or even sometimes I'll make these, I still will come home and make it. So whenever you're ready to go, take it out the fridge, you take your bowl, okay, and there is your salad. And you guys, it's like, thank you, it's my magic trick. I only have one magic trick, it's this. So, but I mean, come on. Does this look like a good salad, right? All of the ingredients that you want, homemade salad dressing. It took me no time to make it, and this bad boy is filling as all get out. So, again, I just gave you not 1, but 2 recipes that take you less than like 5 minutes to make, super filling, and takes all the excuses out. So my clients say they can't eat healthy, I'm like, go to the Fit Expo and go to the Healthy Living Pavilion and watch what I just made. So, so that's it. So we have, so far, we have breakfast, we have lunch, all done, okay? Super simple, you guys. Now let's talk about snacks, okay? Because I know that a lot of people struggle with the snacking part of it. And what makes it difficult with snacking, as I find for most of my clients, and if I'm wrong, let me know. But when we think about snacks, what we'll do is we'll go into like eating a bunch of fruit because it's easy to grab and go. Totally fine, totally support that. The problem is when it comes to using snacks as your fruit, we tend to overeat it, and that's all we eat. So I'm going to share with you guys a couple of things that I would recommend that you start to add into your snack regimen, so that way you can just kind of balance it out a little bit more. But if you're going to choose between eating a piece of fruit or like a donut, I'm always going to say the fruit. Okay, so don't feel like, well, Allison said I can't eat fruit, so I'm going to eat this donut. True story. I went to go visit my mom. She lives in North Carolina. Bless her heart. And she's very proud and says, I said, oh, Mom, I'm going to go to the grocery store and buy some, fruit and whatever. I'm going to get some bananas. Oh, no, I don't eat bananas anymore. And I'm like, oh, like, so with the potassium, with like your medication or something? I promise you, as she's drinking a sweet tea, she says, I gave up bananas because there's too much sugar. I literally almost flipped the table over. And I had to remember she was my mom. And even though at 33 years old, she could still probably lay me across the table. So as politely as possible, I said, Mom, it's not the bananas that's the problem. It's that sweet tea. So she now eats bananas and only drinks half of the sweet tea now. It's progress. Progress. Mom, if you're watching, I applaud your progress. Yeah, we're live streaming on Instagram right now, so hi to all my Instagram people who are watching. So now let's talk about snacks. I'm going to show you guys some snacks that are so easy. It's actually almost like you're going to think I'm silly for doing this, but I promise these are really good snacks. So the first snack, veggie bags. And what is it? Bags and veggies. I know, it's crazy, right? But This, I find, has been one of the easiest clean eating hacks I've ever done. I learned this from a fellow trainer of mine because as trainers, I used to train at Equinox, and we're always on the go, running around, and sometimes just getting good nutrients into our body was like a difficult task to have, which is kind of ironic that we're trainers and we still struggle with that. So this was like our way to do it. So I tell my clients, these veggie bags are great for kids, great for yourself. If you are like on a conference call or like just mindlessly checking emails, or even when you come home from work or driving home or on like the commute, these are really perfect because they're easy to transport, they're easy to make, and again, just pick whatever you want. Again, there's no right or wrong, just choose colors. And like already this makes me so happy because it's so colorful. So literally, you guys, step 1, take your bag. Step 2, just start dumping veggies in your bag. That's how simple it is. So I have peppers that I chopped up, and a lot of things too, you guys. Like I said, you can buy a lot of the stuff already pre-chopped, so you can get pre-chopped veggies. I bought like cucumbers. You just put the cucumbers in there, baby carrots, more peppers.
What would you say that serving size is?
You know what? Because you're just eating so here's the thing. Perfect, he asked what is the serving size. If we're talking about fruit, then I'm very a stickler about that. I'm like a handful of grapes or a handful of whatever or half a banana. When it comes to this, you guys, the calorie count is so low, but the nutrition density is so high. Go nuts, literally. Like eat as much of this as you can because it's not going to be that bad, which is different from fruits or other things as well. So you guys, listen, you've just watched me make a veggie bag. Put some edamame in there for some extra protein. Boom. Okay, like I said, not rocket science, but imagine if you just had this when you're on that really, really boring conference call, just put yourself on mute because you do have crunchy stuff in here. I've made that mistake before. Put yourself on mute and just like mindlessly sit there and snack on some veggies. If you are not there yet to like, I can't just eat veggies, just get a little like 2 tablespoons of hummus. Or you can make your own dressing. Take some Greek yogurt, add some of these spices. Literally, you can take Greek yogurt. I should have brought that with me to show you guys. Greek yogurt and the onion salt from Trader Joe's, like a teaspoon of this and some fresh herbs and the salt-free seasoning. Makes like a really good ranch type dip as well. That's a lot healthier. And then just eat your veggie bags. It's so simple, easy to go. You can make one for each day and grab. And they're also, I wouldn't do the edamame, but everything else also kids can also eat pretty well. So it's a great way, like when you're picking up kids from like daycare or something, it's like, okay, here's your snack, and like put it back there and let them just do their thing back there. And it's just a good way to get it done because a lot of times when we snack, we want the crunch. That's really what it is. So just, crunch on these bad boys. So that's another thing, veggie bags. So that was easy, right? Who's gonna try the veggie bags? Yes, you guys are all trying stuff. I love it. Okay. Like I said, tag me on Instagram when you do it so I can shout you out and be like, you're amazing, you're so great. Because you are so great and amazing. Okay, here's another, okay, we're going to have a veggie explosion in a second. Okay, so another thing, you guys, a lot of people know that like mixed nuts or whatever, they're really great for snacks. The problem is your portions, you guys. We've all been there. We go to the store, it's like, okay, I can either buy chips or a bag of almonds. You're like, I'm gonna be healthy this week. So you buy your bag of almonds, and then you just start mindlessly snacking on almonds until you've eaten the whole bag of almonds in about 2 hours. That's a lot of fat and a lot of calories. So you can have too much of a good thing, and that includes the mixed nuts that you're buying. So, yet again, I'm not really telling you guys anything that you probably don't know. I'm just here to reinforce this. Serving size, you guys, same thing. About a fourth of a cup is a good amount for like one serving snack of nuts. So I just have like a little mixture here. It's about a quarter of a cup. Same thing, either I take this with me and just put it next to my computer as I'm checking emails or doing stuff, or in the car, or the same thing. Just go through and just make a bunch of bags and portion it out. It's something that simple when you're on the go, if you're working out, if you just need that extra dose. If you're not a big like breakfast person too and you're about to go work out, a lot of my clients will do this. Like I'm allergic to walnuts. Well, now I am. So, but like walnuts before you work out, it was the weirdest thing. I was like, I'm allergic to bananas and walnuts and I love banana walnut bread. I was like, why have you forsaken me? And I still eat it anyway, and then I'm miserable, like I can't talk for like an hour, but I'm like, it's whatever. But here you guys go. So just take one of these and just know that this is one serving of your snack. And just keep them everywhere. I keep one in my glove compartment. I keep one in my my purse. I keep one literally everywhere. So I'm like never like an arm's reach without snacks because I'm like a 5-year-old child and like if I don't snack I get hangry. So that's another thing, keeping these around. These are also great when you travel. Do the same thing when you travel. Just make a bunch of them so you have them because you get stuck at the airport with a bunch of crap. This will at least hold you over till you get to a safe destination that's not like super expensive or super disgusting or gonna totally throw you off track. So veggie bags and just portion out the nuts that you're eating so you're not overeating. And the last thing, you guys, that I do for snacks is like a meal replacement shake. If you're traveling, there's tons of these available here. So you don't have one, you can get one. If you still can't find one, I will give you this one. But I don't really care about which brand you use. But again, it's about clean eating. That's kind of my sword that I will fall on always. So always try to choose one. I personally drink Shakeology because I like it that it doesn't have all the artificial stuff. Just choose one that just doesn't have artificial ingredients in it. Turn it over, read the ingredients. If you start seeing words that you don't know what they are, and they sound more like chemicals and they do like herbs and stuff, chances are it's not clean eating approved, and Lord knows what's in it. And there's not enough research to tell us what will happen to you 10 years from now. So you might be all fine and dandy today, and then 10 years from now, it's like you are growing like a second head on the side of your neck because of your shake. So sorry if there are any, should have thought about that before I just made that comment. But use discretion, I guess. That's the best way to say that. Sorry, I'll never get invited back here again. Great. Okay, so yeah, so that's what I would suggest. You can mix them with water. Again, this is like to be honest, this is always with me. This is my day, basically. And then when I come home, I may also throw in like an apple as well. If I with like a bag of nuts, I'll eat like an apple because of the fiber, and it pairs really well with the macronutrient profile. But this is pretty much what I eat on a regular basis, and I keep it, and it's creative enough that you never get bored with it. You can put bacon, egg, and cheese. You can do ground turkey. You can do chicken. You can do whatever veggies you want. You can always mix it up. Your salads, guys. I just showed you whatever ingredients you want, you can put in there. So you can make it, just change your salad dressing to make it a little bit different. The same thing with your shakes or whatever. Just try to find ways to make it easy for you guys. That's what I really care about, because I think we all know what we should eat for the most part. That's not the issue. That's not where we are in the world. It's just a matter of, I'm super busy. I have a lot to do. I don't have time to spend in a kitchen trying to make all these meals. I have a lot of stuff going on. I need to be simple, easy, and structured. And if you can just follow some of these things I shared with you guys, it's gonna make your life a lot easier. So with that, that's all that I had for you guys, because I always want to open up for questions. So if anyone has any questions, let's just go for it. We'll just look at rapid fire questions, and I'll give you the best answers I can.
Would you say that a project like making all these bags would be a good project for a family to do together?
Yes, so he asked, is this a good project for a family? That's a big thing, because a lot of my clients do have families. And what I found is that a lot of them struggled with making meals for themselves and then having to make meals for the rest of their family. Not only is that just like demotivating, that I've been there once. When I first started, I was making roasted, I will never forget this day, roasted curry cauliflower, and I lived at the time, I just got out of college, I lived with basically I lived in a frat house. It was 3 guys who were all in a frat together and me. So I was the princess at the top of the top level, and 3 guys that just lived off of burgers and hungry man food. And I remember I'm making my roasted cauliflower, and they ordered pizza, wings, and spaghetti, and I'm just oh my gosh. So luckily, when you can start doing things that can incorporate everyone else in the family, that's a good way to make it more inclusive. Because I think sometimes when we're on our own journey, what we do is we ostracize and alienate ourselves from our family and we don't let them know what we're doing or we don't include them in it, and they kind of feel, so they just kind of keep doing what they're doing. But if you said, hey, she's like, yes, that's me. So just start to incorporate them, like on Sundays. Make Sundays, meal prep Sundays. If you're single or don't have a family, that's when I catch up on all my Hulu and Netflix stuff, you know? I put my laptop there, and I just will chop up my veggies, I'll chop up my food, I'll grill everything, put it together and assemble it. But my clients who have families, they just make that time together. So they're actually doing something together that's gonna make them healthier together. So absolutely, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So meal prepping chicken on a Sunday?
Uh-huh.
You said eating it on a Friday.
I mean, yeah, you can meal prep your stuff. Chicken will last about 5 days. If you just make sure you cook it all the way through. I once had an episode where I did not, and I made one of those salads, and I gave myself food poisoning. That was really fun. That was really fun. As I was training a client, she was like, "You're gray, like your skin is gray," and I was like, "No, I'm fine. I'm not fine, not fine." So yeah, just like if you grill it, especially, I like grilling, especially now that the weather's so nice, just I'll put a bunch of chicken breasts on the grill, and you can just like dice it up, keep some of it. A cool hack with that too, so you don't get bored with chicken, play around with the marinades, play around with the seasonings, so you can do 4 different types of chicken, all different types of marinades. Or then when you prepare it, just think, how do I want to do this? So maybe you toss it with some tomato sauce and some basil and put it on top of some quinoa pasta or something. But then the next day, you put some barbecue sauce on it and, you know, serve it with like grilled corn. And, you know, at the end, and by the end of the week, if you still have left over, throw them in a salad, throw it in like your egg muffins or something. So you're not wasting it. But yeah, it's perfect. By 5 days is fine. As long as you keep it secured, it'll be fine. Yeah. One thing that I always want to try to tell people is don't ever, for the most part, don't create these associations with food as being good or bad, okay? Because that starts to trip us up, and then like you get food guilt and all this stuff, and it's just not, it just makes it more complicated. So if anything, if you want to eat cheese, watch your portions. So that means like, figure out, you know, like maybe like 1 or 2 portions a day, and also understanding what the portions are. They're probably going to be pretty small, but I mean, like how much cheese are we talking about here? Like on a daily basis, no food shaming here at all, but like, what are we working with? Are you like cheese plate every night after work with like wine, like Olivia Pope status, or is it just like, you know, see? Free cheese at tech companies. You tech companies are ruining America. Right. All the cheese. So yeah, just really watch your portions with it. But if you want to keep it in your diet, and here's the thing too, if you like certain things and your body is okay with it, like I always say, if you're happy with it and your body is happy with it, and it doesn't, you like everyone's like, don't eat gluten, it's gonna kill you, and I'm like, my body loves gluten. Like if I could take a bath in gluten, I would. I don't have issues with it. Some people do. There may come a time when my body is like, hey, we don't do that anymore. I'll adjust accordingly. But if you can eat cheese, go for it. Watch your portions, about 1 to 2 servings per day. And if you're like, or for example, then your cheese snack time at work, that's when you have it. And it doesn't follow you outside of work, outside of that hour, okay? So if I follow you on Instagram and I see like every meal has cheese, I'm like, but remember what we talked about? Portions. So just portion it out. Don't get so caught up in that stuff, but if you like it, do it, just watch it. I personally found that for me, dairy, like bovine dairy from cows, isn't the best for me, so that's why I stick with like a plant-based, like a shake. Like I love goat cheese, so I put goat cheese in everything. All my salads, all like my egg muffins, all, you know, pasta dishes, I'll use goat cheese. It's just easier for me, but yeah, just hopefully, does that make, okay, good. So I don't want you to think like, Allison said I can't eat cheese anymore, I hate her. Eat what you need to eat, but just watch the portions in moderation. Yeah. Yeah.
That goes the same for bread?
Yes, that goes the same for bread. Yeah. So it's so funny. Like, you guys remember that Weight Watchers commercial that came out with Oprah, like at the very beginning of the year, and she's like, I love bread. I love bread. We're like, yeah, we get it, Oprah. We know. But bread is okay. Again, it goes back to the portions, especially if you're working out and doing things too. It's just a matter of choosing the best option for bread. Look at the labels. A lot of, whole wheat, whole grain. It's really not whole wheat, whole grain. There's a lot of added sugar to it. So just check the labels and make sure that sugar is not in the top 3 ingredients of it first and foremost. I would say go with a whole grain, 100% whole grain, unbleached, unrefined flour. I like some of the sprouted options, like the Ezekiel bread. I like Killer Dave. Killer Dave. Yeah. So that's like, I mean, thumbs up and like good for him. Like killed a few people, went to prison and made some bread, and look at him now, So yeah, it's like my favorite, and it's like, and it keeps you full too. So, gosh, you guys are making me get real honest here. When I was younger, I used to eat the Wonder Bread, the white bread. I'd put butter and cinnamon and sugar on it and fold it and like eat like tons of them. And I was still hungry because it was like eating air. But like 1 or 2 like Ezekiel breads or Dave's Killer bread, because I eat sandwiches too. I'll just do like some turkey and some lettuce and tomato, and that works too. So yeah, bread, again, just watch your portions. Like maybe like 1 or 2 servings of that, but don't go crazy. But if you're working out too, sometimes I'll do is I'll eat like toast and then go work out. If I'm having a really long workout, that will also help too. But yeah, don't feel like you have to cut things out unless your body just really isn't digging it. Then listen to your body, like I don't do when I eat walnut banana bread.
So, is there something to eating bread and like carbs at night that?
Okay, so he asked about eating heavy foods, carbs at night before you go to bed. So one thing to think about, everybody's body is going to be different, first and foremost. So anytime you're doing anything with nutrition, listen to what your body is saying. Pay attention to how it's reacting. I have one client, she's a marathon runner, and she eats a bowl of oatmeal right before she goes to bed. And she's perfectly fine with that. And then before her races, she wakes up at 4 a.m. or like 2 a.m., eats another bowl, goes back to sleep, and then goes and runs. Her body can handle that. I can't. I tried it once. I was like, this is awful. Like I was like rolling around, like, oh, I'm dying. So that's one. Listen to your body, because the body doesn't necessarily know what time it. Like only we know it's breakfast. It's like the body is just trying to keep you alive, pretty much. So if you do, when it comes like heavy stuff, from a digestion perspective, for most people it's not always the best. It can really wreck your sleeping patterns and stuff. But if you can do it, and it doesn't bother you, go for it. But I just personally am not a big fan of it because I think it does put a lot of stress on your digestive tract when you should be sleeping and resting and letting the body do its thing. But if it's like a whole complex carb or something, it's going to be a lot better than eating a really heavy meal with fats and sugars and junk and other processed stuff too. So just kind of pay attention to it. But I personally wouldn't do it, and I personally don't recommend it just for that. Yeah. But some people can. So if you can and it doesn't bother you, then go for it. But don't, but just listen to your body. Any other questions? We have like about 10 minutes left. Yeah. Good question. He asked if I use a protein shake as a snack or actual meal. So that really it really depends on the shake or the powder that you're using. Anything that's under 100 calories is a snack, okay? Because you're not going to be full off that. You'll run right through you. You're not going to feel that great. So if it's under 100 calories, then think of it as a snack. Unless you take that scoop that's like 100 calories and then you add more stuff to it. So if you're on the go like this, chances are you're probably still going to be hungry. But like for this one is actually a meal replacement shake. And it has 170 calories in it. So, and then if you add almond milk or something else to it, then it's a little bit more. So first check the label and see what the calorie count is. And then if you want to make it a meal, then you can add more stuff to it. Or just make it kind of like just a hold me over type thing. So I typically will drink this in the morning when I'm like running out the house to go do something. But then, because it's a meal replacement, but then I also do a post-workout like protein shake as well. So I keep my protein specific stuff for the purpose of recovery from my workouts. And then my meal replacement or snack, I make sure it has a lot more stuff in it. So like this has amino acids, probiotics, prebiotics, herbs, superfoods, super greens, so it's like more of a complete thing, whereas my protein shake is just like aminos and protein. So yeah, but if you're like in a jam and you're like, it's either this or like McDonald's, just, make it happen. Yeah. And just look at the labels. Like, literally just look at the labels. If you're ever concerned, just turn it over and see, like, just think, what would Allison say? And if you really have no clue, like, I'm serious, you guys, like, I have people do this all the time to me, just tag me, like, in a picture on Instagram or Facebook, or send me, like, a DM, and I will tell you, like, yay or nay. Because I know, like I told people, like, I used to date a guy who worked for, like, a company, like a food company. I'm like, you're killing America. Like, there's so much stuff. Like, you're confusing people. You're saying that it's healthy and it has all these like chemicals in it, and like it's making me really sad. And I'm like almost get like worked up into tears about it. So just turn labels over and just check it out.